Ready?
Hey everyone, welcome to IoT Coffee Talk. Yeah, this is a special edition straight from Austin, Texas. Yeah, well, we have like a lot of crazy stuff going on this week.
Embedded World, North America.
Yeah, 2024. Yes, just in case you forgot what year it is.
And it's the first time they've had Embedded World in the States, so this is a big deal for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yes. And IoT Stars.
Last night.
Yeah, wonderful events. We got to see so many of our IoT community friends, as well as I don't know, what do you call them? Like
Colleagues. I call them colleagues.
Celebrities.
Our crew.
IoT business people.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah. And it was great to see so many, of the IoT Coffee Talk.
I know.
I'll go. When I shared the picture with my husband, he's like, nerds. I'm like, yes, we're very proud of it. We're very proud of it because the nerds run the world, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So we only missed like David, no, from the original group.
David,
like,
Rob.
Yeah.
From the OGs.
We got Ryan. We got
Yes. But Bill on the show. We're missing Bill and Dimitri just simply because we couldn't get the video telecommunication issues, so we had to kick them off. So
we'll figure that out. 6G will solve that.
Yeah.
there is no Ethernet port on your phone.
No.
Yes.
No.
But no, it was great to see everyone in real life.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people had those Zoom moments where you only see people on Zoom and then you meet them in real life and they're a lot taller or shorter than you thought they were. So that was kind of exciting.
Taller, shorter.
Oh, you're taller, shorter? Thank you. So I had to recalibrate my
Exactly.
understanding of folks. But
2 feet taller than me, probably.
Maybe. I don't know what does it mean to feet.
Well, North America had the chance to discover what IoT giant really means, and
there you go.
And this is him right over here.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're kind of like a giant in a lot of different ways, right? I mean, first off, you established and started IoT Stars, right? Which is
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. Yesterday.
10-year anniversary.
Amazing.
Actually, when I woke up, I saw Twitter like, you want to publish this 10-year garbage image of your anniversary? And I thought, no, but fuck yeah, it's 10 years ago I created the IoT Stars Twitter account. So
not too many things in IoT that have been around for 10 years. Right?
Yeah. Well, I think it is IoT even 10 years old?
I think the concept, right?
Yes, it is.
2010.
It's maybe 8, 9, close to 10.
Yeah. Well,
close to 10.
Maybe the hype is, because you started it when the hype started to really get crazy, right?
Yeah. Investments. Nest was acquired by Google.
Right. Yeah.
And like at Compass, we had our M2M awards, and then we switched it over to IoT Innovator Awards, and it's like 8 years, so it's close. So we're in between 8 and 10 years, depending on when folks started calling it IoT.
Yeah, right. So you think we are living similar thing today with AI? Or what we had 10 years ago with IoT?
All you have to do is watch IoT Coffee Talk and you know the answer to that. Go on.
Well, the tech world is kind of unique in that we just kind of make up words in terms all the time. I mean, in the AI world, I was telling Leonard today, it's like there's efficient ML and tiny ML and analog AI, and people are just kind of coming up with new terms all the time.
Yeah.
Although I was excited to see this morning they announced the Nobel Prize winner, and it was these 2 scientists that developed, they're researching proteins, and they gave it to the 2 scientists, and then the other guy was the AI, a tech guy who applied AI to help with the research, and so they won. So it was like, oh wow, AI is now being awarded for Nobel laureate. So
but it makes it more AI to solve the climate change, right, Leonard?
Yeah. Well, no, apparently not. Apparently not. It's one or the other now, right? I mean,
we do need to stop and say that we want our thoughts and prayers are with those in this path of Milton, because it just.
The folks in North Carolina too.
I mean, there's still just so much damage all across, and it's Yeah, we have friends and family, and everyone knows folks that are in that path. So,
Steve's down there.
Steve Rummer.
and he didn't get to go to Mobile World Congress, right?
Yeah.
Or Americas because of the path, and they shut down the airports.
Yeah.
So it's
like back to back. I mean, because 2 weeks ago it was Hurricane
Helene.
And so
And there's people still missing that they have not
Right.
recovered or found.
Yeah. Yet we have tech leaders who are going around saying, "Hey, we need to build more of these insane AI supercomputing data centers." So
Right, yeah.
you can't stop. You just can't stop for AI, and no one has bothered to ask the question why.
Well, did you see
Nobody
that?
asks why. So
No.
why are we building all of these things, and for what purpose other than selling GPUs?
Power.
Right.
Yeah. At the end, it's always the same people making the money, right? It's the hardware manufacturers who want to sell more. So they just put the seed.
Right.
Well, and I saw your post about Accenture, like the amount of funding coming into them for their new AI group. Like people were spending money with Accenture, so on the consulting side. And so it's just where the money's flowing. Right now, that's exactly what's happening. Is everyone's following that money trail.
Although we
The
are
high
seeing,
trail.
we are seeing more development of like models. More people are trying to be more efficient in their foundation model development to do.
Yeah.
But primarily to cost less to run, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to be cost competitive. Because now there's a bit of I won't say race to the bottom, but there's a lot of competition now in foundational models on AI for cost. But it's also driving more efficiency and ideally energy efficiency with some of these models too. They'll use less,
But obviously, like Rob said last week, I think he posted this, if we are not going to get to the SDG goals, Sustainable Development Goals by 2030, that the UN, they put all these things in place for the world, and we're not going to reach those goals. We're not going to reach those sustainability goals. And it's almost as AI is going to be counterintuitive to the SDG goal of sustainability.
SDGs were established. Now it's like they kind of blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
But here on IoT Coffee Talk, we are going to ask the question, for what? Why? And I think that's what everyone should be asking themselves. I mean, that's what I ask a lot of people in the industry. It's like, yeah, it's great that we're building all this stuff but for what? For what? Is it just so that marketing people can produce more stuff?
I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, and
Or
is it
chatbots for customer support? Is that what we need?
Yeah, customer support. I mean,
That is what we need now. But I think, some techno-optimist people think that using the same methods that we have been using in the last 100 years, it's not going to fix all the problems that we have as humanity.
Yeah.
So maybe investing in something that can have our lessons learned and try to be more innovative, or just get something crazy can help us maybe.
yeah,
I don't know if, for example, if you can get like a lot of new efficiency using AI designing new solar panels or new electrical power stations or things like that.
Yeah. I mean, there was an interesting presentation from ST Microelectronics yesterday. We're going to post it on our Discord, but he was saying something like the human brain at like 20 watts is sort of the equivalent of a supercomputer at like 56 gigawatts or something.
Yeah, well,
Like basically the human brain is so much more energy efficient in its compute. And so it's sort of like when you talk about trying to get to that level of capability, how much energy do you need to actually put into a supercomputer to get there? So we're still way off on our efficiency in AI, way off.
yeah. But you know what? Here's the thing that I'm afraid of, that they'll start to harvest monkey brains and try to use them to power the next generation of quantum generative AI supercomputing. Yeah.
Somebody's working on that, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's going to be somebody out there, some crazy person out there who's going to be working on the next generation, which might be human brains.
Dr. Franken.
Yeah, don't give people weird ideas, okay?
You're the one who came up with it. I don't know. I didn't say monkey brains.
Yeah,
Do not watch this episode.
Actually, I was reading at the Wired magazine that they were like a Norwegian company was using Norwegian people in jails to train machine learning models.
Really?
Well, it's true. One of the true facts is that when you talk about data sets and labeling data and stuff, there's still a lot of human intervention involved.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cleaning and labeling data. A lot of people don't realize that those data sets come from a lot of human interaction to sort of clean it and label it and make it worthwhile to then train an AI model on something. And that's kind of a mechanical turn model, right? Is where you get a lot of people, looking at that data to clean it up. So it's
and that's something you have to constantly do. I think that's one of the things that we don't talk about a lot, actually, even in the industry, is that these things don't inherently learn. It has to go through a life cycle, like a forced life cycle, where humans, we learn and adapt on the fly. These things don't learn and adapt on the fly, right?
And there's drift, there's model drift.
Drift. A lot of issues that, I think are being discovered through all these POCs. That's why you're not seeing a lot of broad enterprise deployments because of a lot of these issues, but also the cost associated with maintaining quality, if you can even achieve quality. And that's one of the big challenges. And we've been talking about this on IoT Coffee Talk for 2 years. So if you don't listen to this show and you think we're just babbling and nonsense, just listen to our previous episodes. There's the one that we did on metaverse and generative AI. That was clutch.
Well, it wasn't but 2 years ago I was on a panel and we had folks that were talking about what are we doing with the data? What happens to the data when we get it to a point where we can say it's intelligent?
Yeah.
And there was such a long, structured conversation about data sanitization and data segmentation and building out the models just to clean it up before we even actually use the data for something that's intelligent. And it's so complex, just going through just the basic steps. And here we are 2 years later, and I don't feel like we've reached that level.
I mean, I think it's also, we're seeing deployment of AI in some of these more mission critical things around agriculture and water systems and monitoring like train track temperatures and stuff. So that stuff, you really have to get it right.
It's critical infrastructure.
So the ability to train that, to adjust for model drift, to update your models and stuff, people are still sort of working out all the kinks before. Because that stuff, when it gets deployed, it's out there for a decade in the field, right? So people just need to make sure it's more.
Well, here's I've mentioned this in the past, but it's a conversation I'm having more and more. And I had a number of opportunities to have this discussion at IoT Stars last night. A lot of the ML stuff it's about clean data, right? As we start to go into the higher orders of AI, right? It's about knowledge. It's the quality of a knowledge base. It's not just data.
Right.
And that's why you have to, that whole process is so different from, the ML stuff that now people have started to develop some very effective, efficient algorithms and applications for.
Right.
That's about data, so data streaming off the machine, that has to be quality. You have to contextualize it to a certain basic order. But when you start to get into these LLMs where now these things are starting to handle something entirely different,
and you're going to get off much more ambiguous.
Right, exactly. Then it's about knowledge. And so the discourse around AI, broadly speaking, hasn't elevated itself to that point yet. And I think there's a risk of victimizing all the good ML work because people they're just not talking about data knowledge at the same level. And some people actually have no experience with knowledge, especially when you start to look at enterprise AI. It's all about knowledge, right? Data is like way down here.
I think some of the more interesting use cases that I've heard around recently is really more on the back end, on the operations side, where they're taking these mass databases of training materials, documentation, specification protocols, and they're loading that into the LLMs. And they're learning off of that because that takes us to another level of, and it can also include simulation. So in the aviation industry, these pilots have to have continuing education. And so they're loading all of that content into these models to help them create like video tutorials on how to do specific things and giving them more of like a simulation if this happens, what do you do? And so in those cases, I'm like, okay, that's very legit. I can see the value in that. It's probably a cost savings or a training that's something that they've never had, especially the interface. So it's just, I think a lot of the more interesting use cases are happening on the back end or operational side, not necessarily something that like client facing, like check boxes like that. It's just like, it's like night and day when you think about this is useful, this is a pain in the ass.
Now I'm starting to realize that I probably should stuck with like learning and knowledge management back in my consulting days. Now it's going to be a big thing.
It's coming back huge.
I know. But hey, I want to take a break here for a second and give you guys hugs. Oh my God, it's so good to see you guys.
You had the longest hug with Bill last night, and I loved it. I was just like,
oh, dude, I love you. I love you all. And we all love you. IoT Coffee Talk.
And Leonard is wearing his pink today. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. So he's representing.
Good. Unintentionally, but honestly. But yes, I always represent. Yeah, I'm all down with diversity and women's health. So, yeah.
What else is happening at the show? I was at the show floor yesterday. Pretty good attendance. I mean, it's like you said, first time they've done this it's always been in Nuremberg and there's always had like tens of thousands of people and it's been packed. So this one's a smaller show, but still the floor was pretty robust. I thought some pretty cool booths and demos and, a lot of folks. I saw the new particle tachyon platform. You can see that. They have some, it's cool.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Particle has a booth?
Yeah, they have that there. They had a big booth down there. What else happening? So yeah, it was pretty well attended, I think. So
that's like pretty Star Trek right there. Tachyon bursts.
Tachyon,
right? Yeah.
So yeah, the floor was buzzing, so that was good.
Isn't that how you bring down the shields, or is that how you identify or track a quote?
That's beyond my Star Trek.
Oh my gosh, we are definitely entering nerd status here.
Well, see, that's like the minimum requirement of being a nerd is knowing
to be an Trekkie
and the science of Star Trek.
I made the lithium crystal joke the other day to my
see, that's his problem. He called it a lithium crystal.
The lithium crystals. No one got one.
Correctly.
Are we all nerds here? Does everyone understand how the engine works in the Enterprise? I mean,
the engine. Warp drive.
The warp drive.
Yes.
The engine.
Jeez, this guy is just, he's
it's an engine.
Come on.
It runs off of the lithium crystal.
I expected so much more from you, Pete. It's like, it is really weird to be doing this live.
I know.
I mean,
it's not weird to me. I feel like I've known y'all forever. It's weird.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have been
family.
We have met once per week for years, right?
Yeah. Going on five, everyone. And, of course, we missed all the other members of our Coffee Talk.
The OGs, the add-ons, those that are there every week.
Yes.
More often than I am.
Yeah. So what about, what do you guys think about the IoT Stars event? I mean, I personally think it's one of the best opportunities to get together with a community of IoT practitioners and business entrepreneurs to have like a real conversation, right? Because I mean, everyone really wants to make this thing we call IoT a quote unquote success, and it's been a tough journey, right? I mean, now you've been in the game for at least a decade, right?
Yeah.
And,
no, but it's good now that to see the after pandemics, right? People wants to meet again, wants to share, the war stories. Some with happy endings, some without happy ending.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were discussing before the event. Should we ask people to raise their hands if their company is profitable or not? For example.
You did, and I did see.
And we did, and we saw people raising their hands. So that means that people.
I was halfway, so we're a non-profit, so technically.
Yeah. You were doing this.
I thought it was interesting. I mean, we didn't really get a great participation on the poll. That's why at the end I asked, well, so what did the rest of you guys do? Right? I asked are you guys a data company? And
Oh,
nobody
they-
raised their hand,
Mm.
you know?
Like, how do they define themselves?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
do you
yeah.
consider yourself to be an IoT company or a tech company? And we happen to do it.
What is not
Yeah.
a data company?
Yeah.
What is not a data company today?
I mean, I mean,
A lot of companies are not data
or they
companies.
have no data intelligence. Or not really going down that path.
Yeah, but see, I think that fundamental question of what is an IoT business and how how does that then define what you are as a company?
Sure.
And
A lot of these folks are, I would say,
It's still
they're
a
in the
big-
platform space, right? They're providing platforms of which you can then run, do your data processing things, right? So a lot of them are fine to say, hey, I'm just a platform here. I'm just a physical platform or a software platform, right? That's, because it doesn't goes out as an
Yeah.
You do your
Last-
thing, party on my platform,
But last night seemed like there was a lot more discussion around the software side of
Yeah.
things, and just the integration of hardware and software, or software on hardware. I mean, you're starting to hear more of that discussion taking place when it comes to IoT.
yeah,
But also, we've gone full circle with 5G, IoT, the hype. But it's almost like we're kind of settling down. Because there's some folks that thought they were going to move everything to the edge. They are not. We're kind of seeing some bounce back. But I feel like, going to IoT Stars last night, there was a really good, like, the demo was great. And just listening to some of the folks' war stories about, how they're handling data. And some of the progress being made. I wouldn't consider any of those companies necessarily to be an IoT company. I'm like, they're automating, they're connecting things. I don't know.
Well, they
I
are
think it's
enabling,
arbitrary.
right? At the end, it's companies are enabling other companies, right?
But the community is real. Like, those that have a common goal of wanting to connect the unconnected, that common goal is still there.
Sure.
yeah.
Whatever we call it down the road, it's still going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think about the 12-factor thing that Brandon from Blues was presenting?
I mean, like, looking through, and I read through I call them the steps, because he was laughing at me. I'm like, well, we are in recovery. So literally, I feel like we're in constant recovery. But yeah, I mean, it looks like more of, okay, we're not trying to educate everyone out there, but we're trying to give them some better tools to start to make some to help them with their decision making, because everyone is just running in circles. I think it's more of okay, it's happening on the customer side, and then how can we help developers, hardware manufacturers, those that are really building things hands-on, how do we help them kind of sift through things? So it's more of a tool to assist, and I think what's helpful. I think folks can actually go and learn some things if they're kind of, especially newer, or feel like they're kind of emerging into this space and they're just trying to get their hands around things. I think it's a good tool for that.
Yeah, I remember when I was reading this in the flight coming to the US, I was like, oh, finally I see some of the things I was doing written down. So like it's like common sense finally, in a place.
Yeah, and that's 12factor.io if you want to read more about it.
Yeah, it's a simple thing, but I don't know. Let's see if it's going to help people or not.
Yeah. And of course, you have to thank him, right? Tiny
Yeah, of
ML.
course. Thank you
Yeah.
for helping this guy.
Yes, we're
for
happy to
sponsoring Stars.
help provide the social lubrication necessary.
They had some interesting drinks on the menu when you
They did.
they're the ones that were their specialty drinks.
Felt like we should have come up with some tiny ML cocktail
Yeah.
or something. But
We could have
got
had a
creative.
themed cocktail.
But no, the drinks were delicious.
Yeah.
And you went back to the hotel to get a margarita.
The margaritas.
Mm.
Muy strongo. Is that how you say it?
I had one drink last night because I wasn't about
strong
to
and
loopy.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Is it intensivo?
Intensivo.
Intense margaritas.
Strong is forte.
Fuerte.
Fuerte.
Yeah, muy fuerte.
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 Más fuerte.
Okay. All right.
The Spanish side of
It's official. I forgot all of my
you go.
high school Spanish.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
And definitely here in Texas, it's a very slang Spanish. Like, very, very slang. It's very
Yeah, and they don't
specific to
have the
Texas.
list.
No, but I'm surprised. Like last time I came here,
Barcelona, not Barcelona.
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 but 9 years ago, Austin was so different. It's full of skyscrapers everywhere. It's it's a completely different.
I know it's like when you're coming to Austin, the top of every building has a crane. Like everything's still going.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It almost is like overwhelming when you look at the skyline.
Yeah.
It's just building
Yeah, I
up.
was telling Leonard I hadn't been here probably in about a decade or so. It's like, it's like much taller skyline than it used to be.
Yeah.
Progress, I guess. The scooters there are very helpful, though.
Did you do scooters?
I do a lot of
I ended up
scooters.
walking.
Yes. Especially if it's like 90 degrees out or whatever. I don't feel like walking for 15 minutes even. It's like, scooters.
It is definitely warm here in Texas. They're greeting all of our international folks with 97 degrees yesterday.
Yeah, I brought my
Which I don't know what that is in
sweater,
Celsius.
Dressed in Seattle. And,
I know, I was like looking at it, I'm like, that just makes me, well, this is actually warm. It's short sleeve.
the air conditioning is good.
Yeah. Well, I accidentally packed this.
That's fine. That's perfect.
Yeah. And apparently it was,
It's on point. It's on point.
Yeah, I figured, it's probably going to be hot here, and I'm not going to want to wear a long sleeve and troops. I'm going to commit to that.
And also, when you're on stage or doing panels or talking, you just heat up. Like you're just.
Yeah. It's insane.
And then the other important thing that we did is like the barbecue. So what do you think about that? I never tasted brisket or turkey in my life.
Was this your
My
first time
first-
for barbecue?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
well, for brisket and turkey,
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
not barbecue, but yeah.
It's
What do you
definitely a
think? Was
Texas
good, or-
staple.
I missed out because we ended up going to the Qualcomm dinner, and,
Okay.
you guys were running late with the agenda. So
It's all-
that's
it's
cool.
all good.
It's good. Yeah.
I told Stephanie like 3 minutes more, and another guy in the other side from Blues was like, no, more time, give more time. Like, we're not ready.
That's why you just like give them the website and let them go read. Because I know that at the end of the day, some of your sponsors want
Yeah, no, I
attention.
was
They
feeling
want to get
bad.
their message out. They want people to visit their website more so. Probably more so Blues than the 12factor.io.
Yeah.
But that's like a tool to get to Blues.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me because they used to always call themselves Blues Wireless.
Wireless,
They dropped that wireless.
They rebranded a couple of years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
A year ago.
They're in the perfect place, right? This is Austin, and the name of their
Blues.
companies is the Blues, and we were, the IoT Stars was held at Stevie Ray Vaughn's house.
And I don't know if you saw last
Original
night,
house.
but Bill was wearing these nice, like, cool custom Nikes.
Yes.
Oh.
And he showed me the back of them. And on the back of them, it had this word. I'm like, what is that? And it says Blues. And I was like, well, you
Oh,
wear the
wow.
theme for the night. But yeah, he's a shoe,
Fishing.
oh my gosh, he's got lots.
He told me he has like a
Lots of
1,000 square
Nikes.
foot
Closet, just-
closet of shoes.
Bill, we're talking about your
Oh,
shoe
Bill.
collection.
Yeah.
He picks.
Actually, we should have just
We
gone
should-
to Bill's house.
Do you know, okay, do you know how close Bill
They're
is
big-ass
to
fans.
where we live right now? It
20
could
minutes away, right?
30 minutes with traffic. 30 minutes to get to Bill's. We can go crash his
Let's go.
Nike collection.
Yeah.
Taking a tour.
Cut. And then we'll.
Exactly. And then we continue.
By the way, speaking of cutting, so if we were online right now, I would put in the chat that I need to drop. Because I have to go to this other thingy thing. But since we are live, I have to tell you in person. I have to get up and leave. So it's less elegant.
11:15 Central.
For all we know, this recording turned out like crap. So
That's true. Maybe it'll.
Yeah, we can cut it short.
But no, feel free to continue. But I do need to.
Okay.
Whatever that in real life equivalent.
Bow out.
Okay.
Leaving.
All right. So on that note, hey, thanks everyone. Repeat. We'll see you later.
See you guys.
Yeah,
Bye.
definitely. But thanks for tuning in. Remember, it's all about the kids. Check out Elevate Our Kids at elevateourkids.org.
Yep.
We are on a mission to bridge the digital equity divide so kids K through 12 who live in underserved and unserved communities can get connected in a laptop so they can continue their education and participate.
Speaking of that, we put funds aside because we have been trying to coordinate with Hawaii after their disaster, and we haven't heard back. So what we might want to consider doing is take those funds and go to Florida, North Carolina. Some of those communities have completely wiped out. They've lost their schools, their towns, everything. So it may end up being that they've lost. They may not even have. Right now, a lot of them are using Starlink to get access with generators, just to have access to the internet.
Yeah.
And I saw that they're partnering with T-Mobile, and they're allowing for phone calls to over Starlink. So
we should give our buddies at T-Mobile a call.
Yeah.
And see if we can.
Shout out to T-Mobile for helping
T-Mobile
folks.
guys, yeah, and
Yeah.
Starlink. So where were we? Yes, and also make sure to subscribe to IoT Coffee Talk at iotcoffeetalk.com. Oh wow, that was a harmony. That was awesome. You want the latest, greatest, and the craziest thinking about tech and IoT. You listen to us. You check
And
us
stories
out,
and nonsense.
Yeah, and we're on YouTube as well as on Buzzsprout. So if you go to Buzzsprout, look up IoT Coffee Talk, you can take us on the road, on your jog, and listen to all 200 and almost 250 episodes.
And
5 years.
and follow us on Twitter, IoT Coffee Talk.
Yeah.
Or LinkedIn.
Yeah.
We're LinkedIn.
Yes.
We're all over the place.
Everywhere. So
Very famous.
yeah, so here from Austin, Texas at Embedded World 2024 on IoT Stars. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be tuning out.
Signing off.
Signing off. That's it.